friends. Today I am going to start the next article from our syllabus. Name of this article is Plant Growth Regulators. So in this article, Plant Growth Regulators, we are going to study the introduction of this topic, Plant Growth Regulators, then discovery of the plant growth regulators, then distribution as well as site of synthesis of plant growth regulators, and finally the physiological roles and practical applications of plant growth regulators. So in our syllabus there are three plant growth regulators: auxins, gibberellins and abscisic acid. So as far as introductory part of this topic, plant growth regulators, is concerned, the term plant growth regulator is used for some substances which regulate the growth in the plant. So initially it is believed that many external conditions which are naturally available surrounding to the plant as well as food in the plant body are essential for proper growth and development of plant. But these two factors, which are these two factors? External conditions and food material. So even though plant is getting adequate quantity of food material, inside the plant body sufficient amount of the food material is available for growth and development of the different tissues, organs, etc. As well as external conditions are also suitable for the proper growth and development of the plant body. But these two factors, external conditions and food material in the plant body, they don't actually control the growth and development of the plant. That means growth and development of plants is controlled by, growth and development of the plant is not controlled by these two factors, but the growth and development of plant is controlled by some chemical substances which are synthesized in the plant body in very minute quantities and transported to the other parts of the plant body where they show their effects in the process of growth and development. That means these organic chemical substances which are synthesized in the plant body in very minute quantities, very little quantities, they are responsible for regulating the growth of the plant. That means these chemical substances, organic chemical substances, are responsible for regulating the growth of the plants. So these organic chemical substances which regulates the growth of the plants, growth and development of the plants, or different physiological processes in the plants, are commonly called as growth regulating substances or growth regulators. They are commonly called as growth regulating substances or growth regulators. So these growth regulating substances which stimulates the growth or controls the growth are more or less similar to the hormones which are found in the animal bodies. So what is the major important character of the hormone? Hormones are the chemical substances which are synthesized in the bodies of the plants as well as animals at particular region, and from this site of synthesis they are transported to the another region where they show their effects. That means site of synthesis or site of development of these hormones is different and their site of action is different. So this is the important property of each and every hormone. It may be plant hormone, it may be animal hormone. So in order to differentiate the plant hormones from animal hormones, we use this term, phytohormones or plant growth hormones. That means plant hormones are different from animal hormones. No doubt, their basic property is similar. Plant hormones as well as animal hormones are synthesized at particular region, and from this site of synthesis, they are transported to another region where they show their effect in the process of growth, development, as well as they also take part in different physiological properties, physiological functions. That means hormones, plant hormones are generally known as phytohormones or plant growth hormones. So some substances which are synthesized in plant body, are not showing the properties of hormones. That means these growth regulating substances or phytohormones are showing two categories. That means they are of two types. Some plant growth regulators or plant growth regulating substances are showing hormonal properties, and some growth regulating substances or plant growth regulators are not showing hormonal properties. They are commonly called as non-hormonal substances. That means these hormonal plant growth regulators, they are similar to the animal hormones. They are synthesized at one region or produced at one region and transported to the another regions where they show their effect in the process of growth and development. So, for example, in plants, the growth hormones or phytohormones like auxins, gibberellins, and cytokinins. So these three plant growth regulators or plant growth hormones, these three substances, organic chemical substances named as auxins, gibberellins, and cytokinins, they are showing hormonal property. As like animal hormones. That's why they are known as hormonal substances. Some substances which are present in the plant body, they also regulate the growth. They are not showing hormonal property. That means their site of synthesis and site of action is similar. That's why they are commonly called as non-hormonal substances. For example, instead of these three groups of plant growth regulators like auxins, gibberellins, and cytokinins, another growth hormones are also available in the plant body. For example, gaseous hormone ethylene is available. Abscisic acid is also there. So these abscisic acid, ethylene, they are not showing hormonal property. That means these hormones I have told you earlier, abscisic acid as well as ethylene, these plant growth regulating substances comes under this category, non-hormonal plant growth regulators. That means these plant growth regulating substances which are showing animal hormone like properties, they are known as plant growth hormones also. Phytohormones are plant growth hormones also. That means some substances which are produced by the plants naturally, which are playing important role in controlling the various types of physiological processes or controlling the growth and development in the plant body, which are commonly called as growth hormones or phytohormones or plant growth regulators. Some substances which are man-made substances. For example, some synthetic auxins are available. For example, auxins, it is a generic term. Auxins is not a plural term, singular term. It is a plural term. It involves or it includes many substances. Naturally occurring hormone, auxin, is indole 3-acetic acid. Naturally occurring auxin is indole 3-acetic acid. But certain man-made chemicals are also available. These chemicals are having similar physiological properties as well as chemical nature as that of this naturally occurring auxin indole 3-acetic acid. That's why these another man-made chemical substances which are showing same physiological properties as like naturally occurring hormones like auxins, like indole 3-acetic acid, they are commonly called as a growth substances. So there is a difference between these growth hormones, naturally occurring plant growth hormones or plant growth regulators, and growth substances. That means these non-hormonal substances, I have told you earlier, instead of this indole 3-acetic acid, auxin, IBA is there, indole butyric acid, Na is there, naphthalene acetic acid. There is a long list of these synthetic auxins. 2,4-D is there, 2,4,5-T is there. So this is the list of growth hormone communicator, the generic term auxins. That means IAA, IBA, IPA, NAA, 2,4-D, 2,4,5-T. So these are the names of the synthetic compounds which are showing similar chemical nature as well as similar physiological role as like naturally occurring auxins. That's why these synthetic auxins are commonly called as growth substances. They are commonly called as growth substances, even though their physiological role is similar. So under the heading of this topic or article, plant growth regulators, we are going to study the introductory part. I have told you earlier, I have discussed earlier, introductory part of this topic. Then we are going to study the discovery of this hormone, then distribution or site of synthesis of hormone, and finally we are going to study the physiological roles and practical applications of hormones which are included in our syllabus: auxins, gibberellins, and abscisic acid. So one by one we shall see this discovery, then we shall see distribution, then finally we can come over to this last part of this article, physiological roles and practical applications of the auxins. So as far as historical account related to the or regarding the discovery of the auxins is concerned, so we are going to study today the first hormone in our syllabus. Name of this hormone or plant growth regulator is a auxins. So this is the first plant growth regulator in our syllabus. We are going to study further discovery of the auxins, distribution of these auxins in plants, and finally the physiological roles and practical applications of these auxins. Afterwards, we are going to discuss the another hormone in the same pattern: discovery, distribution or site of synthesis, physiological role and practical applications of the gibberellins. Then finally we are going to study abscisic acid. Abscisic acid, its discovery, distribution, physiological roles and practical applications. So today I am going to discuss the discovery, distribution and physiological roles and practical applications of auxins. So, as far as discovery of this auxin is concerned, many workers are involved in the discovery of the auxins. The first physiologist or worker is F.W. Wend. He confirmed the presence of plant growth regulating substance in the plant. Initially or first of all, in 1928, this F.W. Wend isolated the growth regulating substance from plant sources, but this worker is unable to identify the chemical nature of the auxin. No doubt, he was confirmed the presence of some chemical substance in the plant. He is also able to isolate the chemical substance from the plant, but he doesn't know what is the chemical nature of this substance. Later on, in 1934, the similar compound was isolated from human urine, and this compound was identified as indole triacetic acid. The short form of this indole triacetic acid is a IAA. So this chemical nature of this substance known as auxin, first naturally occurring hormone auxin, which was identified as indole triacetic acid, which was isolated from another source, from human urine by another worker. Later on, in 1935, the same compound having similar physiological properties, chemical nature, same compound was isolated from yeast textile. Yeast is a unicellular fungus. From this unicellular fungus also, this indole triacetic acid was also isolated. Later on, in 1946, indole triacetic acid was also isolated from immature maize kernels. So, after all these observations, it was considered that IAA is a major naturally occurring hormone. IAA is major naturally occurring hormone which is found in higher plants. So after these observations, in many higher plants, the indole triacetic acid was reported. This substance was isolated from different sources or different higher plants, and later on, by observing this on observations, it was concluded that IAA is a major growth regulating substance which is found in all higher plants. So, as far as the distribution of these auxins is concerned, this auxin is found to be present in all kinds of the plants, starting from algae to higher plants. So algae is one of the example of cryptogamic group of the plant. So algae also possess this naturally occurring substance known as auxins. Many higher plants, all higher plants also shows the presence of this chemical substance auxin. So this, as far as distribution of this auxin is concerned, in all higher plants, commonly higher plants we can call these as angiosperms. Means seed bearing plants. All seed bearing plants possess these auxins. Cryptogamic plants like algae also possess this hormone auxin. So in discovery, there is a term. What is this? Is fungus. That means this oxygen is reported from fungi, oxygen is reported from algae, oxygen is reported from all kinds of or different kinds of angiospermic plants or flowering plants or higher plants. So as far as their percentage or concentration or amount, maximum amount is concerned, so this more amount of this oxygen is reported in or found in growing regions. So what are the growing regions? The apical regions of the root, these are commonly called as a growing region. So in these growing regions, the quantity of this oxygen is maximum as compared to the other parts of the plant. That means this oxygen is also reported from growing regions, another growing regions. For example, buds are there, axillary buds, terminal buds present at the branches, tips of the branches. These buds also contains lot of quantity of oxygen as compared to the another mature parts of the plant body. That means throughout the plant body oxygen is available, but its concentration is variable. That means higher concentration of oxygen is generally found in growing regions, and mature tissues, mature organs like fruits, like flowers, as well as permanent tissues in the stem, root, possess the hormones, oxygens in less quantity as compared to the growing regions. That means as far as the distribution of this oxygen is concerned, oxygen is reported in all organs of the plants, but its quantity is maximum in growing regions or apical tips. So for the proper growth and development, certain minimum level of oxygen must be maintained. If its concentration falls below this minimum level, then certain changes in physiological processes are observed. For example, if oxygen in the leaf becomes less than required minimum level, then falling of the leaf is reported. Premature falling of the leaf is reported. That means this is the adverse effect reported when oxygen level falls, when concentration of the oxygen becomes less than minimum level. That means premature falling of the fruits, premature falling of the leaves, premature falling of the flowers takes place due to development of abscission zone. So this is the abnormality developed due to less availability of oxygen or less amount of oxygen in this particular part of the plant body. That means abscission zone is created in the petioles, pedicels and fruit stalks, and premature falling of the fruits, premature falling of the flowers, premature falling of the leaves takes place due to non-availability of adequate quantity of oxygen concentration in this plant parts. That means required quantity of oxygen is essential for proper growth and development of the plant body, as well as proper physiological functions, for performing proper physiological properties or functions. Each and every organ in the plant requires the adequate or minimum level of the oxygens. So finally, I am going to discuss the physiological roles and practical applications of these oxygens. So there are total 11 physiological roles played by these oxygens. Oxygens plays manifold roles in the plant life. There are total 11 physiological roles played by these oxygens. So these physiological roles and practical applications of oxygen, I am going to continue this physiological roles and practical applications in our next lecture. Thank you.